Hi, I'm Megan Peterson. I'm the Health and Human Sciences educator with Purdue Extension in Steuben County, Indiana. I educate on a variety of human development related topics, including maternal health and well being, parenting, stress management, and mindfulness. I hold a master's in human development and family studies, and I'm a certified yoga instructor. Today, I'm bringing pieces of my education, training, and passion together for this lesson on creating vision boards. So why make a vision board? Vision boards have been shown to be effective and therapeutic. While making a vision board, you're practicing mindfulness. It can help you understand your personal values, priorities, and whether you're spending your time and energy in the right places. A vision board can help you clarify your goals and objectives, and seeing your completed vision board can be extremely motivating. The images on your vision board begin to make their way to your subconscious, and you begin to believe that reaching those goals is just around the corner. There is somewhat of an element of magic to vision boards. The law of attraction says that if we set our sights on something with positive intention, the universe will bring it to us. Now, this concept is in every culture across time. It's along the same vein as self-fulfilling prophecy, karma, meditation, metaphysics, and it's backed by science. For example, studies have shown that those who merely imagine themselves doing physical exercise see similar results to those who actually perform the physical exercise. The mind is so powerful, and we can use the power of positivity to bring good things into our lives. If you've ever watched any interviews with extremely successful people, they almost always talk about how developing a clear vision through vision boards or meditation led them to their success. There are a couple of different ways that you can make vision boards. You can do it digitally using software like Canva or Pinterest or PhotoGrids or any other software that you can view images on, or you can cut and piece together already printed materials from old magazines or newspapers. To get started with your vision board, take a look at the Wheel of Life. On the Wheel of Life, there are different categories or different areas of life. So we have friends and family, significant other, personal growth, fun and leisure, home environment, career, money, and health. Then what you're going to do is rank each category 0 to 10. So 0 would be I'm not satisfied in this area at all, and 10 would be I am totally satisfied. Now that you've ranked the areas of life, identify the lowest ranking areas. Are you starting to see why you might be unsatisfied in certain areas? It could be that more of your energy is going into one area, leaving little energy for other things that are important to you. Begin to imagine what satisfaction might look like for you in this area, what adjustments might need to be made, what boundaries might need to be set. Start to collect and collage images that represent how you will feel when you reach your goal in this area. For example, I took the 2 people in the kayak, and if I were the one in the picture, I imagine that I would feel excitement, I would feel a sense of connection with the other person, and I imagine myself feeling more confident as my physical strength increased. Once you have your vision board, put it somewhere where you'll see it often and start to notice how your vision starts to come to life. So it'll start small. You might notice if your vision was to eat healthier, you'll see that spinach is on sale. Or if it's to make more money, you might find $1 in your couch. Take these signs that the universe is trying to bring you what you want, and it's getting closer and closer. Here are some examples of vision boards. One is in a book. Another one has images arranged into a design. One is very precise and geometrical. And one that looks like it's posted onto a poster board from magazines. Any way is great. You just want to make sure that the images mean something to you. They represent a feeling. You can use vision boards in other ways. For example, you can use vision boards for projects. I have a vision board for a program I'm working on that addresses maternal mental health. I have on here images that represent how I want the program to feel. So I want it to be feminine, inclusive, and fun. I also have a 4-image vision board I made with my partner, Brad, that represents fun and leisure. We both chose 2 images that represent hobbies we'd like to share together. I hope this presentation inspired you to make your own vision board. Thank you for joining me for creating vision boards. Bring your vision to mind, bring your vision to life. Thank you.
Louise Delagran and Alex Haley of the University of Minnesota shared an article where they stated, "Many of us spend large parts of our lives on autopilot, not aware of what we are experiencing, missing out on all the sights and sounds and smells and connections and joys we could appreciate. Some of that time our minds seem switched off, and other times caught in thoughts from the past, often regrets, or plans for the future, much of which is repetitive." Being mindful doesn't come naturally to the fast-paced worker bees of this world. It is so easy to become engrossed in something that you miss everything that's happening around you. At a recent Purdue Extension event, a guest speaker shared that sometimes we need to do more being and less doing to be better at what we do. Mindfulness involves being present in the physical world. It invokes us to consider our experiences through our senses. It involves non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts and feelings. Mindful journaling encourages you to set aside a small amount of time each day to slow down, give your brain a little refreshment, and come back to a meaningful reality. Mindful journaling helps you reflect on the things you see, feel, hear, smell, and taste. In elementary school, we learned that we use our senses to learn about the world around us. But more often than not, as adults, we become desensitized to those senses as the daily grind takes over. When was the last time you truly smelled something? The flowers last summer, the pumpkin pie last fall, or the pine needles at Christmas? Do the thoughts of those smells conjure up positive thoughts? They likely do because we associate them with things that lift our spirits. However, you don't have to wait for the roses to bloom, the pumpkin spice season to begin, or the jingle bells to ring. Every day has its own unique set of smells, flavors to taste, and items with which to connect. Research has shown that mindful practice improves our mood, reduces stress, which in turn improves our physical health, and improves brain function, allowing for clearer thinking. Mindful journaling can encompass a number of styles. You can start with a blank slate and simply record the things you became aware of during the day, or feelings that were invoked as a result of the things you saw, heard, and knew. Some mindful journals offer prompts that change each day, giving you a new perspective or thought to ponder. The regimented type might prefer repeated daily prompts, where you identify the same types of things each day, such as goals for today, today's self-care moment, the first thought that popped into your mind for the day, and so on. For those less oriented to paper and pencil, photojournaling is a great fit. Many find their photojournaling becomes a personal art form in addition to a positive mindfulness experience. While focusing on our senses is a great place to start, a mindful journal can be customized to meet your goals. Mindful journaling can be used to document changes in attitude or behavior over time. I'll give you some examples. When I started my mindful journaling journey, I looked at examples online to get a feel for mindful journaling, and I would encourage you to do the same. While there were good ones out there, I wanted something that was just right for Tammy Mosier. Here are a few examples of the various styles that I found. Some very open-ended and some with repeating prompts. I used Excel to create my own mindful journal that included a mindful checklist. I tried to focus on the areas of my life that needed improvement, and I set goals. As you look at my mindful journal, you might learn a few things about me. I tend to be a night owl and recognize that sleep does a body good. So sleep was one of those goals I put on my mindful journal so that every day I could acknowledge what time I went to bed and what time I woke up. I also wanted to acknowledge healthy habits, and you might see I even called out a few of my negatives, the triggers, distractions, and challenges that come up in my daily life. When I flip back through my mindful journal, I often see email as a trigger or distraction on multiple days. So I have learned that because email is such a distraction, sometimes I just have to shut it down. I allow my mindful journal to inform me how to change my behavior. You'll see on my mindful journal that I also take note of those senses as we mentioned previously. I try to record those happy thoughts, the things that I look forward to or the things that I want to reach for. And the last box on my mindful journal is a person who encourages or cares for me. When I feel little value, underaccomplished, or overwhelmed, I need a reminder that somebody loves me, cares for me, and that I matter. There hasn't been a day where this box has been blank. I don't fill in every box every day, and I made 3 to 4 iterations of this before I was happy with the end product. The beautiful thing is, I can adjust and modify it as I wish because it's mine and it's all about me. Photojournaling takes on a bit of a different approach because it is a different type of medium. 2 of my good friends have taken their photojournaling to social media. They take a daily photograph, well, usually many, but only posting one, that sums up a part of their day's experience. I love seeing the world through their eyes. They are training themselves to look for unique and interesting things in the world, which goes back to the whole point of mindfulness, being physically present, aware, and intentional. When we take a moment to pause and click, we record a digital version of moments to cherish or things to admire. My good friend Sam notices things like the shadow on his window shades, the delight of coffee beans, the colors and shapes of the Purdue Fort Wayne Walk Bridge, a sunny softball Sunday, and the geometric perspective of a bowling alley. Derek captures the glimmer of lights at the city park, colors found amongst all of the concrete in a city, his teenager showing no shame for playing in the snow, the fuzzy tennis ball that he and his dog use so often, water droplets as nature's camera lens, feelings of giving up due to emotional exhaustion, and a new temporary normal that will forever be in the history books. For me, everything began to change when I forced myself to see. I just had to look up. I began to see the colors in the sky, my daughter's blue eyes, and the way that a face wrinkles when it laughs. The second game changer for me was touch. Hugs became more meaningful, and that warm laundry became more cozy. I was going through the motions of the daily grind, yet missing so much. What would you include in your mindful journal to improve your mood, reduce your stress, be physically healthier, and improve your brain function? Think about it and get started. Mindful coloring is a leisure activity, a means to relax and unwind. Mindful coloring is not the same as art therapy, and the activities should not be considered synonymous. Art therapy is employed to help individuals work on emotional healing and focuses on inner struggles. While Donna Betts, an art therapy professor, draws a clear line between art therapy and coloring, she says we have too many screens in our lives. Maybe people are going back to coloring books because they are tactile, a way to engage with something that involves using our hands on a piece of paper. Maybe it's the nostalgia of coloring as a child. Maybe it's a break from the responsibilities of life and rigid routines. Maybe it's the idea of creating something beautiful with your hands. And maybe it's the idea of connecting with something tactile in the present moment. If the last is true, perhaps the ready-made outlines of adult coloring books will offer mindful moments for you to hear the sharpener refine the tip of your pencil, to hear the pencil scratch your paper, and to see the colors bring life to the page. Mindfulness involves being present in the physical world and invokes us to consider our experiences through our senses. It involves non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts and feelings. Mindful exercises can improve your mood, reduce your stress, improve your physical health, improve your brain function, and provide clearer thinking. So while the research doesn't reveal significant declines in anxiety and depression, the boom of adult coloring book retail sales and personal testimonies will tell you that mindful coloring does a mind and body good, as both the logical and creative parts of the brain are activated, redirecting focus from worries and anxieties. Mindful coloring uses fine motor skills to encourage self-expression while not feeling crippled by a blank page. There are many choices of adult coloring books on the market. I own a wide variety because I like to keep it interesting. I own a coloring book with geometric shapes, personally my least favorite, a fashion book that contains garments from every decade and trend, several animal books, I have seasonal books, and greeting card books, which are my personal favorite. Adult coloring books often retail for a higher price, but you can find good deals on them at discount stores. At present, you can secure a children's coloring book for about $1 to $5, but adult coloring books will cost more like $3 to about $15. Obviously, the price depends on the number of pages, the variety of designs, and the quality of the paper. While an adult can color a children's coloring book page in about 3 to 7 minutes, like Rat-a-Tat-Cat, it will probably take significantly longer to complete an adult coloring book page. You don't need fancy crayons, markers, gel pens, or colored pencils. Basic ones will work just fine. I'm a fan of colored pencils. I like the way they feel in my hand when I color. I like that I can determine how sharp or dull they are, and I like the end result. I cannot endorse one product over another, but I will advise that the higher quality colored pencils you purchase will result in a higher quality and more satisfying coloring experience. I love to color. I find it relaxing, calming, and it helps redirect my focus from the things weighing on my shoulders. Confession: on occasion, I take my colored pencils to church and color during the service. Although it may appear that I'm not paying attention, it actually helps me relax and soak in the sermon. Why do I share this? Practical application. Obviously, it depends on your meeting, event, or occasion, but consider offering a coloring option for those who prefer to keep their hands busy, aiding in their focus. Perhaps you can add an image that can be colored in the corner of your meeting agenda, or if you are hosting a full-day training, consider a cover page on your training materials. If you need full attention with eye contact and all hands on deck, I wouldn't recommend this. But if that's not the case, you'll need a stash of crayons, colored pencils, gel pens, or markers. And while this may seem elementary, you might find that individuals enjoy your trainings and meetings more. Shortly after I onboarded with Purdue Extension, I attended a training for youth educators on campus. We were provided coloring placemats at the meeting. It lightened the mood and gave the immediate impression that the training was casual and that staff were willing to meet multiple learning styles. Even if you skip the coloring utensils and provide a border around your meeting agenda or somewhere on your print materials, attendees can use their ink pens or graphite pencil to scratch the paper. Here's an example of a document I provide to elementary school students. They can color the borders in the upper right, the box in the lower left, or the rhino that represents their school mascot. You'll notice this example is all about gratitude. We'll revisit gratitude shortly. Empirical and theoretical research is limited in color psychology. Red and blue appear to be the colors studied most in depth, but I find that universities, marketing companies, and practitioners disagree on the feelings invoked and the meanings behind the colors. While many agree that red, for example, is the color of love and romance, we often find red associated with urgency and danger. Some of you may be thinking, yeah, love is dangerous, but I would argue that love should be a place of comfort rather than danger, and it certainly shouldn't require urgency. Similarly, some associate purple with loneliness, while others say purple is a color of vision and wholeness. Doesn't a lonely person feel the opposite of wholeness? If we get even more technical, we have to think about the hue or the shade and chroma or intensity of colors. Sky blue likely invokes a different feeling than midnight blue. Researchers have tried to make sense of color for decades as they have studied emotional response, cognition, behavior, and even the science behind the wavelengths. Or to make things more interesting, does the past predict the future? Meaning you respond to a color based on your historical association with that color? I'll let you be the judge of colors as you select the colors that work for you and emulate your mood, or as you try to match the mood you're going for. So please view this video with the understanding that individuals will respond differently to colors, and colors can take on different meanings for different people. Here's an example of the same card with a cool color representation and a warm color representation. One of my favorite things is to see how different people decide to color the same picture. The birthday cards are all the same, but oh so different. They certainly have different colors, and if you study them, you'll see they were also colored in different areas. The far left birthday card displays only 3 colors, excluding the flame of course, and has no color on the piano key border. The second birthday card uses 3 basic colors, but a total of 6 pencils because of hues. And a few of the lines in the piano key border were skipped. The third exhibits neutral colors, a stark contrast to the fourth. Although the butterfly-laden thank you cards are relatively similar, they too do not look identical. The congratulation cards are altogether different, as I made my own colorful pattern on the example to the left. There is freedom within the lines, friends. This example shows the difference in saturation. Color firmly for a bold look, and color softly for a lighter, more whimsical look. Because I find pleasure in coloring, I appreciate the benefits of mindfulness, and I find ways to weave coloring into things other than the standard coloring book. This is my calendar. I use rubber stamps to build the canvas, so to speak, and then I use my colored pencils to be mindful and just kind of check out for a while as I add life to my calendar. I like my April much more than my May, but soon enough I'll like them both. I'm not the only one who likes to color in my house. In fact, coloring has become a social event at many libraries. My 3-year-old likes to color with me. Can you guess which page of my devotional is hers? Earlier, I mentioned gratitude. Gratitude has been found to increase joy and happiness, to improve mental and physical health, to improve relationships, and to increase one's optimism about their future. I encourage you to mindfully color for your benefit, and then use your coloring as a form of gratitude. Whether you color a card or write a note on the back of your coloring page, your form of gratitude will reap benefits for you, the giver, as well as the recipient. This is where that elementary school document brings both worlds together. Mindful coloring blended with mindful gratitude. all in pursuit of creating healthier young people in our elementary schools, and hopefully in pursuit of creating a healthier you. So break out the crayons, markers, colored pencils, or whatever you have. Listen to the sound of the utensil scratch the page. Relax in the back and forth motion of your hand and wrist brushing the page, and allow your brain to settle into the creative and logical flow that it craves.
Through this chair yoga class, you will move to the story of the 6 blind men and the elephant. This chair yoga class includes poses that have been modified from their original form, but will exercise all of your limbs. You will need an armless chair and about an arm's length distance between you and those to the right and left of you. The 6 blind men and the elephant. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in one of the habitats of an elephant. Perhaps a forest, a jungle, a grassland, a desert, or even a mountain. Now begin to pedal out your feet, imagining you are walking through this environment. Once there were 6 blind men, each having a different background and different experiences, but who walked together from time to time. On this day, they decided to take a walk where they heard an elephant roams. Begin to sway your head from side to side. On this walk, the men did come across an elephant, but since they could not see, each began to reach out to touch the elephant to try to understand what an elephant is. The first man reached out and touched the elephant's trunk. Sitting tall, chin up, inhale, arms up, making prayer hands overhead. Take a deep breath into your belly here. This is modified volcano pose. Now on an exhale, bring your prayer hands straight out and down while bringing your chin to your chest. Fully exhale. On an inhale, send prayer hands up overhead and lift your chin. Exhale, prayer hands down, chin to chest. Repeat this cycle. Said the first blind man. An elephant is a big snake. Snakes slither, twist, and turn. Next, we will come into modified eagle pose. Lift your arms, making a 90-degree angle at the elbow, and place your right elbow inside your left elbow crease. Then bring your right thumb to your left pinky. Begin to lift your elbows on an inhale and lower your elbows on an exhale. Release your arms and complete the cycle on the other side, this time putting your left elbow in the crease of your right elbow and bringing your thumb to your right pinky. Follow your breath as you lift and lower your elbows in this position. No, said the second blind man as he reached out and felt the side of the elephant. An elephant is like a wall. Leaving your elbows in a 90-degree angle, unravel your arms and open your chest. Fingers spread wide, shoulder blades together. Come to the corner of your chair and send your knees apart. This is goddess pose. From here, engage your core, inhale and lift your goddess booty off your chair. On an exhale, bring your hands to heart center, still hovering over your chair for a few more rounds of breath. Exhale and release. An elephant is not a wall, said the third blind man as he held the elephant's tail. Balancing on the corner of your chair, come into a lunge, sending your right leg straight out behind you. Give that tail lots of length by coming onto the ball of your right foot and slightly lowering your heel. Inhale, arms up overhead. This is Warrior 1. I'm afraid you're both mistaken because an elephant is a rope. On an inhale, grab a hold of the rope and hand over hand begin to climb. Engage your core and follow your breath to help give you lift. Begin to bring that booty off your seat. Keep climbing, and with each motion, stretch your side body. On an exhale, release and float back to your seat. Come into Warrior 1 on the other side. From Warrior 1, pivot your back foot, bringing your heel to the floor, opening your pelvis to the side. Send your left arm behind you and your right in front of you. Inhale and lift to send you hovering over your chair. This is Warrior 2. Find your breath and your balance here. On an exhale, shift your top body forward. Exhale and lunge forward. Inhale, withdraw. No. An elephant is not a snake, a wall, nor a rope. The fourth blind man took the elephant's tusk into one hand and pierced the palm of his hand with the sharp point. An elephant is a spear. Lunge forward with your spear and then withdraw. On an exhale, release comfortably into your chair. My, said the fifth blind man, shaking his head as he held one of the elephant's ears. An elephant is none of those things. Bring your arms to cross in front of you and then sweep them up high as you inhale and exhale as you float your arms back down. An elephant is a big and lovely fan, said the fifth blind man. On your next inhale, interlock your fingers and create 90-degree angles with your wrists. Let your shoulder blades glide down your back and grow a little taller. Begin to sway from side to side. Oh, my friend, said the sixth blind man, it can't be so. You are all wrong. An elephant is not a snake, a wall, a rope, a spear, nor a fan. The sixth blind man hugs the elephant's leg. An elephant is a tree, of course. Lean back, rest your hands on your belly, and close your eyes. Here we end the story of the six blind men and the elephant. But your yoga practice doesn't need to end here. Yoga is not just poses and breath. You practice yoga when you give yourself and others grace. You practice yoga when you believe in the goodness in yourself and in others. Practice yoga every day by knowing we are more than just the sum of our parts. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Namaste.